Whip comes up. The issue that was raised by the Shadow Attorney General, my presumption is that resolution means decisions. All the decisions, whether in bills, AG's reports, all of them, that is what it is, and that's what you need to bring to this house. So you can tell us about the official.
Right Honorable Speaker, I had indicated I wanted to comment on 3, but let me first handle this. In the absence of a guiding principle or legislation, but let me also state that the Ministry of Public Service has been granted the mandate to work on a paper highlighting who will be entitled to a state burial, to an official burial, and any other form of burial. But in the absence of that guiding principle, His Excellency the President, in the case of the late Honorable Dr. Paul Kawanga Semogerere, offered on behalf of the government of Uganda, looking at the contribution that the late made to the Republic of Uganda during his lifetime, an official burial. Because we all know that a state burial, as of now, is only limited to a president or a former president. So the official burial was offered with its full package and with the consent, I am reliably informed, of the family. The moment a state burial is offered, it comes with a package. The moment an official burial is offered, it comes with a full package. So the gun salute, the 17-gun salute, was part and parcel of the official package of an official burial. That said, Right Honorable Speaker,
Honorable Government Chief Whip, the state burial is for the 5 citizens. There are 5 citizens in the country. Constitutional offices. Constitutional office of the presidency, speaker, legislature. Those are 3 offices with the 5 people.
Thank you. Honourable Minister, thank you for giving way. Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the Minister.
But why don't we discuss this when the motion comes? Let's have a discussion on this when the motion comes on Thursday, and we'll bring all this where the law is not clear. We shall make sure it will be one of our resolutions. Honorable Toro.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker, for giving me opportunity to warm the French bench here. Is the front, but I have said the French because it was just a leverage. Madam Speaker, I rise on a matter of very, very important national importance. Very, very important.
Can you tell us what it is?
Madam Speaker, we've known and seen raining in many places, including today. We witnessed rain and even some bit of flooding. Madam Speaker, on a Sunday, Toro County and the South, to be very specific, witnessed rain of hailstone. I don't know now how to call that, whether it is a hailstone, but a rain of hailstone. And Madam Speaker, in this rain, there was very little water, but much ice in very solid, big form, including sizes as big as this table I am talking about here. And Madam Speaker, as you've known, after rain, that water floods. In this case, what Toro County witnessed was ice that was everywhere. This led to death of animals in numbers, birds in numbers. Very many people were injured. They are hospitalized now. Very many houses were brought down. And as I speak to you now, Madam Speaker, there are still pockets of very big blocks of ice visible now as I speak. That is after 2 days. Visible blocks of ice now. Madam Speaker, this is unprecedented. No one has experienced it before.
What is your prayer?
And that is what is happening in Toro County and the South, to be very specific. The affected sub-counties are Kwapa Town, Kansa, Pokot, the whole county. My prayers, Madam Speaker, one, quick supply of relief food, because everything has been lost. Whatever was in the granaries, some granaries have gone down. Whatever was in the gardens, everything is now a story that people will tell in the near future. So we need supply of food. We need, Madam Speaker, supply of blankets and mosquito nets where necessary to rescue these people. Madam Speaker, we need iron sheets. Those who are at their houses and have gone down, they need to be supported. Madam Speaker, we need planting material. We need cassava stems in order to rescue these families. Immediately, since it is raining, they can plant cassava and be able to see it throughout. Madam Speaker, we need potato vines. We need planting seeds and tree seedlings such that we can increase on the cover to support us in the near future. Madam Speaker, we need restocking of animals. Toro has been evaded for long for restocking. Madam Speaker, this is a call. We need restocking of animals as people's animals have died. Madam Speaker, those are my prayers and how I wish the Right Honorable Prime Minister who is here can respond on this quickly. Madam Speaker, people are gathered at my home. People have gone there expecting for support, and there is nothing I can offer them. The situation is so bad, very unprecedented, never seen before. I beg to submit,
people in your home also. Madam, now just, Madam Right Honorable Prime Minister, even of both people are at his home.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, we take a note of the member's concerns. I will request that he formalizes that with our office. Then two, we are going to send a team today quickly on the site to verify and see whether we shall supply potato veins and cassava stems and everything like here. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, your court. Not a court, your court.
Thank you, Right Honorable. I rise on a matter of national importance regarding the unprecedented delay in awarding the student loan scheme, loans, I mean. As you are aware, Right Honorable, the Ministry of Education and Sports through
Honorable Ngura, leave the Prime Minister to listen. This is a very important issue. Children are being chased away from school. They are not doing exams.
Thank you, Right Honorable. As you're aware, the Ministry of Education and Sports, under the Higher Education Students Financing Board, is mandated to provide loans and scholarships to Ugandan students who are financially incapable, to provide them with means to pursue higher education. Unfortunately, Right Honorable, this academic year, all financially incapable students have found themselves between a rock and a hard place because of the delay in awarding the loans, with most of these students unable to register with their universities and therefore at risk of missing their examinations. My prayers are twofold, Right Honorable. One, that the Ministry of Education and Sports, under the Higher Education Students Financing Board, is mandated to provide loans and scholarships to Ugandan students who are financially incapable, to provide them with means to pursue higher education. Unfortunately, Right Honorable, this academic year, all financially incapable students have found themselves between a rock and a hard place because of the delay in awarding the loans, with most of these students unable to register with their universities and therefore at risk of missing their examinations. My prayers are twofold, Right Honorable. that the Ministry of Education and Sports explains to this House why the loans have not been awarded in total disregard of the cost of delay. Secondly, that the Ministry of Education and Sports explains how they will guarantee equity in the students' loan and subsequently table names of beneficiaries to this House.
Thank you. Prime Minister.
Honorable colleagues, Right Honorable Speaker and honorable colleagues, the fact is we are receiving overwhelming demand from the students. That is a fact. And the Ministry of Education will definitely come here and give a report. But I want to thank Ugandans for educating their children. We are receiving overwhelming demand for the scholarship.
So the issue is the children, the region, which all those kind of things. And the delay cannot be known by the Prime Minister. It is not the Prime Minister who is doing that. Let's wait from the ministry. The ministry will come and make a report, will present a report tomorrow to that effect. Yes, Attorney General.
Yes, and maybe for the record, I am temporarily acting leader of opposition. For that matter, Right Honourable Speaker, since you had earlier ruled that we will be considering ministry by ministry, could we have the Ministry of Education to be the first to present action reports tomorrow for us to critically consider that ministry with this particular idea, this particular student loan scheme in mind?
I am happy the leader of opposition is taking over my powers. And I have a list of who should present first, and definitely all the ministries will present, irrespective of whether education starts. But according to my list, education is not among the first. Where is our list? And let the Minister of Education come tomorrow and give us a report why the loan was not given out for students that applied. Let them give us a reason to why it was not given out. On the same, I have made a ruling. I have made a ruling. Ojara. Finance, we also need an explanation from you why the money was not disbursed to that effect. Stop shouting like somebody from a classroom.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to raise this matter of national public importance. Right Honourable Speaker, on June 30th, 2021, the implementation of the Northern Uganda Social Action Fund, NUSAP 3, ended, and this particular program, Right Honourable Speaker, focused on household income generation, livelihood support, and public works. Right Honourable Speaker, in the same month, the Uganda Bureau of Statistics released a report showing a very worrying trend in as far as poverty is concerned across the country, and most especially covering northern Uganda. Right Honourable Speaker, you recall that several months ago, the Right Honourable Prime Minister communicated to this House the decision taken by Cabinet in providing a successor program as a deliberate effort to address the worrying poverty situation across northern Uganda and eastern Uganda, or I would say the Greater North. Right Honourable Speaker, we are informed that the World Bank had demonstrated commitment to provide funds, and what was left was for government of Uganda to fast-track the program design processes. However, Right Honorable Speaker, it is sad to note that the design phase has stagnated because the resources required for this phase has not been provided. Right Honorable Speaker, this means the program, the successor program, would not be taking place unless the design processes are undertaken, but should also ensure the highest level of participation and involvement by the people in the Greater North. I therefore like to make the following prayers, Right Honorable Speaker. One, that the Ministry of Finance should explain to this House why they have been hesitant and have failed to provide the funds that needed for the design aspect. Two, Right Honorable Speaker, I pray that government of Uganda should show commitment and expedite the processes to enable the successor program kickoff. And finally, Right Honorable Speaker, it is my prayer that the Right Honorable Prime Minister and the Minister of Finance creates a time and interacts with members of Parliament from West Nile, Karamoja, Teso, Lao, Bunyoro, Acholi, Elgon, and Bukedi to discuss in detail how this successor program can be worked on so we can help in the fight against poverty. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, this successor program, commonly known as NUSAF 4, is our hope. The Office of the Prime Minister under the Ministry of Northern Uganda have done a lot to make sure that this program is at the level where it is now. The money that is required is expected anytime soon, because after the Minister for Northern Uganda realized that there were delays, she came in our senior top management. We invited the Minister for Finance and PSST, and I committed in writing to the Minister requesting them to make sure that money is provided for the designs. And I believe we are at another level. I think my colleague has not got this information. Then two, involving members of parliament, that is a welcome idea. I would definitely invite you for a meeting, because we have been consulting a number of stakeholders. So I will invite you for a meeting so that you can.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I would like to appreciate the Honourable Prime Minister for making me way. Honourable Prime Minister, now we appreciate government. Government has introduced so many programs in northern Uganda. NUSAF 1, NUSAF 2, NUTS, very many programs. And then right now, look at the statistics. As said by Honourable Panduzi, actually sub-region and northern Uganda is still the poorest. I really feel, Right Honourable Prime Minister, if it is necessary and very important, you have to take the audit and the performance of all those government programs. Why is it that actually sub-regions and northern Uganda are still the poorest regions in this country, despite all those good programs that you have introduced for the country? I beg to move.
I thought Busoga was the poorest.
Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, let me give you facts. An audit was carried out when I had just come. The fact is, a lot of money has been injected in northern Uganda. And the communities continue to suffer with poverty. So what have we done? We realized, members, that all that money was going into infrastructure development, building schools, health centers. So we have said this time round, no schools, no health centers, no roads. We are injecting this money directly to the people. That's the answer. A lot of money is going now to people. And secondly, members, money,
honorable members,
they would identify a certain sub-county and then get a certain parish. But this time, we are saying all areas must be covered. So this time round, we shall push poverty out of northern Uganda.
I think we also need a mindset change. We need a mindset change. People need to look towards development, not all the time like it is about poverty. But anyway, PDM, it's for another day. Can I have Basil? Jonathan, what I say?
Thank you, Madam Speaker, for your indulgence. I want to inform the Madam Right Honourable Prime Minister.
Right, Prime Minister.
That the record of government should be straight. Madam Prime Minister, I would like to inform you that not all the money that was meant for the programs in northern Uganda actually reached northern Uganda. The office of the Prime Minister has been culpable. Billions of shillings were stolen and eaten here in Kampala. It did not reach northern Uganda. That should be the starting point, because when the record captures it that a lot of money has been pumped in northern Uganda, yet money was eaten here, it is unfair to the people of the north.
Will you establish how much money was eaten and how much money went to the region? And where is it eaten from? Is it locally here or up country? That's what she needs to establish. And then we'll know how to handle the next money, whether it should be sent direct other than being eaten here first, and the bonds are sent. Basil?
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. My name is Bataringa Basil. I represent people of Kashar North, Mbarara District. I rise on a matter of national importance, like my colleague from Toro. Torrential rains have hit Mbarara District, particularly Kashar North, for the last 2 weeks, including hailstorm, strong winds resulting in floods. This has led to destruction of property of people in different parishes. Bienje Primary School, the roof was blown off. Rubindi Town Council and Nyabisiria Town Council were flooded and a lot of property destroyed, and many roads and bridges have been washed away. So my prayers are, 1, immediate relief supplies in form of food, blankets, mosquito nets, and other materials that give relief to these people, including roofing iron sheets to families that have lost their houses. 2, planting materials that yield in the short term so that the rains which are still continuing can be utilized. And thirdly, response by this parliament to give UNRWA, to me, more funding to respond to information granted. Please.
Thank you, thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, and thank you, my colleague, for giving way. Right Honourable Speaker, the information I want to add on my honourable colleague is on the issue of rains and roads. Right Honourable Speaker, recently here, I requested the Ministry of Works through the president to declare a state of emergency on the state of our roads. Honorable Toro here said we are not yet there. Right, Honorable Speaker, you are going to have a case of mob justice of one of your members being mobbed by people because of bad roads. Right, Honorable Speaker, every day you get a bridge being swept away by water. And I can tell you, Right Honorable Speaker, there is absolutely no response. Now, people look at members of parliament to have solutions for these challenges. We are also looking at the bigger government to have solutions. Now, we need to know who the government is looking at to have solutions in specific case of roads. Because I am very sorry for those who may get me wrong, but the issue of roads, we cannot pretend that everything is right. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker.
Yes,
I thought you had finished.
No, I had one more prayer, Right Honorable Speaker. So I was saying that UNRWA should be funded because they are lacking in funds to go to these areas. And the task has become enormous, so they should.
The last loan that we approved in this house, UNRWA was getting more money than any ministry. So let the money be given to UNRWA for UNRWA to do its work. And I think for you to give out what Honorable is asking for, you need to have a team on ground first, Prime Minister, to assess the level of need.
Honorable Speaker, I like the way you have responded. And that is exactly what I wanted to say. My brother, you need to get in touch with our office, and we shall send a team to go and assess the extent of damage, and the solution will come. For UNRWA, the loan was passed here. We are processing that loan. Secondly, I remember telling you here, honorable colleagues, that government, through the Ministry of Finance, is going to front load for UNRWA for the month of April, March, Feb, and January, so that they can have enough money to move, because they have a number of debts they are supposed to cover.
And honorable members, some of these roads may not be UNRWA roads. Some of these roads are district roads. Some of these members, some of these are not UNRWA roads, they are district roads. And we need to find out how much money was given to every district under the road fund. And the other day we discussed about this, Prime Minister. Prime Minister, in the next budget, let's give every district, as in every district, 1 billion shillings in the road fund. And then we shall see who is complaining. And you find that in the road fund, in the road committee in the district, an MP is always the chair. If that MP fails to do the oversight in a district, then they should not complain. Let's make a decision.
Formation.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, there are some facts I want to bring on table. We have conducted a number of accountability barazas in a number of districts. And what we have discovered is that the chairpersons 0C5 have been making themselves chairpersons of committees. For example, the districts of
Honorable
Wakiso,
Prime Minister, because the MPs are absent.
No. I don't want to blame colleague members of parliament. Once they capture that seat, so the chairperson 0C5 have been taking over the management of road committees. This is happening in Wakiso, this is happening in Mukono, this is happening in
Honorable members, that is one of the issues that is coming under works.
That's Madam Chair.
I am saying it is one of the issues coming under works. It is one of the issues coming under works.
Okay,
on
allow me to
actions
conclude
taken.
then. Right Honourable Speaker, these are facts. Colleague members of parliament in the districts of Mukono were denied information. They did not know how much money government was sending to their districts. And therefore, it becomes hard for members to monitor and do oversight work. And therefore, we agreed and said, Uganda Road Fund should always gazette in the papers all the information that has anything to do with roads. And we are saying they should also put this information in the pigeonholes of members. And they have.
Honorable members, we have that information. Let nobody say that there is no information. The information is there. We are failing in doing our oversight role.
Lastly, Right Honourable Speaker, we also discovered that there were a number of disparities. They were doing false accountability. They were presenting accountability for some roads that are made by members of parliament, as if the money that the government has sent was being used for that purpose. And therefore, colleagues, let us all join our hands and see that our people get value for money, and to see that our people, receive better accountability. This is for all of us, colleagues. Thank you so much. But Honorable Katumba has been in these barazas and can add more information. And
Honorable Prime Minister, Right Honorable Prime Minister, you're a member of parliament. Like me, I'm a member of parliament. I am saying let's agree as a parliament and have money for road fund, and we take charge of road fund as members of parliament. Love, after.
Honourable Speaker, it depends on the district by district, because not all districts receive the same amount of money. For example, as I speak now, Right Honourable Speaker,
that is operational.
The district of Wakiso has received 1.3 billion. And they are saying that money has not been utilized. It is idle. And yet our people are suffering with roads. So if we say 1 billion per district, when some districts are small.
The 1 billion is not cast on stone. That is operational.
Okay.
Yes, Lord.
Right Honourable Speaker, I'm surprised that my best friend, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, wants to donate my office to, I hope I'm distant enough and I can speak without a mask, with your permission. First, I want to thank the Prime Minister.
You first stand up.
Yeah. Right Honourable Speaker, that one I undertake. But outside your chambers. Honourable Speaker, yes, I want to thank the Prime Minister for demonstrating interest in the road infrastructure in this country. You guided well by making a proposal on money being provided to the districts, and then see how they're going to come out and complain. We receive reports often from the Uganda Road Fund, including the latest one. And you will find that there are some areas which have actually not received money. And we must admit as a fact that in a rainy season like this one, we are bound to have these challenges. My view, and where I agree with the Right Honourable Prime Minister, is that on a case by case, looking at the district, the size and the number of roads, we may have to decide how to assist. You may find that you have a one constituency district. You cannot compare that one with a big district like Wachiso, and without any conflict. What we need to do is to undertake a national survey to see the...
There's a procedural matter. One thing I need to correct you members is that we did not say specifically the same amount. Districts differ. When you go to Kasese, Kasese is one of the biggest districts. When you go to Arua, go to Wakiso, they are different. So we are not, that's why I said it's not cast on stone. You will assess from district to district.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, we had a motion here in this House on the road fund, which motion was backed up by the Attorney General. And Right Honourable Speaker, I've said it several on this floor, that matters of roads will continue coming, and we shall not solve the problem until we operationalize the road fund as it is. The problem is that money is collected by Uganda Revenue Authority and put in the consolidated fund, and finance gives the Uganda Road Fund what it thinks it should give, 25% instead of the 100%. So the problem, Right Honourable Speaker, is not UNRWA, is not Uganda Road Fund. The problem rests with the Ministry of Finance, which has refused to remit funding to the districts as per the Road Fund Act. And Right Honourable Speaker, the Minister is going to speak. He will still be lamenting about funding. Right Honourable Speaker, the last time this matter was on the floor, the Prime Minister was asked to convene a meeting. I was not invited. I was supposed to be in that meeting together with Honourable Byanyima, the Attorney General, and the Ministry of Finance, and we resolve this matter. Otherwise, we shall continue talking and talking until the cows come back home. Right Honourable Speaker, the Act is there. What is lacking is implementation. I request that the Prime Minister, the procedural issue, Right Honourable Speaker, is it procedural right Honourable Speaker, for us to continue discussing matters of road funding when the issue rests with the executive and they have failed to implement?
Honourable members, let's have respect. When one person is standing and talking, you say it. The issues of road fund, and Dan Kimosho was just being polite. I'm told they almost finished him because of his road. The locals went and attacked his car, and that's why he was talking like that. Honourable
I want to thank the Honourable Sarah Pendi for giving me information through a procedural issue. Yes, Right Honourable Speaker, first we need to undertake a nationwide survey to know how many kilometers of road we have. How many of those fall under UNRWA? How many of those fall under Road Fund? Because Road Fund is trying to provide some little money, which they can afford. Thirdly, you have mentioned the colleagues, the Honourable Baka Mugabe. One day his constituents beat him with his own chairs and chased him out of the constituency of a road that is not supposed to make. My view, Right Honourable Speaker, and it is not correct to say, and to stop it at the level of saying, that the chairpersons appoint themselves. Two things. One, members of parliament go and allow some chairpersons to chair road committees. But as long as they participate in those meetings and do their statutory mandate, I would not have a problem. I would have a problem if the government or somebody went ahead and told me, we provided this amount of money to District X to work on roads. They did not do what they are supposed to do. And sometimes people give misleading information to government. One day we were in Wachiso. The president was addressing people, and he had been told that, you know, we gave 20 billion shillings for the youth. He almost arrested the cow. When the cow was summoned on the podium, he said, Mr. President, we only received 2 billion. I agree that we need to aggressively undertake oversight. And that's why, for me, I'm happy with the Uganda Road Fund. Whatever they disburse to our constituencies, they give us information regularly. But as you rightly guided, there are roads which are not covered by UNRWA. We must know who is supposed to handle which road. And then follow up with an additional question. Are those entities funded? I agree with the Honorable Pendi. For example, when you talk about the statutory mandate of Uganda Road Fund, is the Ministry of Finance providing the money as we appropriate it? Then we cripple an important sector of us, which is actually guaranteeing our survival, the survival of our people. And then the money is spent elsewhere. I think, like you guided, Right Honorable Speaker, one, you need to come up with a comprehensive program, lay it before Parliament. And we agree, otherwise, you're going to be bombarded with these questions of my road was swept away. The next day, another person will come, and then Honorable Penn will raise on a procedural issue to say, are we proceeding well to discuss a matter when we have another thing? Finally, when we take a decision as mature leaders in this country, and government makes an undertaking, let us follow up. Like, for example, the Honorable Prime Minister, Right Honorable Prime Minister is saying, yes, and I chaired that meeting, but we do not have that information. There are a number of issues which we agree on here. We are just about to come up with another one on human rights and the drones. The Right Honorable Prime Minister, under your brokerage, Right Honorable Speaker, had a meeting with the opposition to discuss the issue of people who are abducted in drones, who have continued to disappear. The time you gave or we agreed on has since elapsed. We have no information. The next thing we saw were the vibrations in Geneva. And you're going to have more of those. And I'm sure my brother is about to give us a report. If the government undertakes and does not report to Parliament, these are the things that are going to continue. Members of Parliament are going to be beaten because they think we are pocketing the money for the roads, which we do not touch. I thank you.
Maybe just for information, your brother, the one you call your brother, the Attorney General, reported already on the report on Geneva, and it was received by this House. Honorable members, we are not going to spend the whole day on matters of national importance. I appreciate you brought your questions. Let me take Alan last. Mayanja Alan. Can we go to the next? Members, the rest will be for tomorrow.
Item 3.
Hey, Honorable Katumba, on the roads. Please tell us an update on the roads, the UNRWA roads, the local council roads, and what is your plan on the roads?
Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you very much for what you have said this afternoon.
There's a procedural matter, General. Sorry about that.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, it's quite unfair, and I'm sorry for the General before he proceeds. We always come with urgent issues. And these urgent issues, you always emphasize that must be urgent. Madam Speaker, I came here on 9th to raise my issue. You almost cut it. And You crossed that day. You
I wish I was you. You would have used that time to raise your issue other than lamenting. Because I have 556.
The rules doesn't
Listen, I have 556 members of parliament. Are you listening?
Thank you, Madam
So
Chair.
if you're not among the first 5, then
Madam
you can't do
Speaker,
much.
Madam Speaker, kindly I request I use this time. Thank you very much. Madam Speaker, I raise on the matter of national importance in line with what Nakasero Blood Bank is going through as an entity that was mandated to collect blood in our country. Madam Speaker, a few weeks ago, Nakasero Blood Bank, together with Uganda Kingdom, conducted a blood donation campaign in my constituency. But on a third note, we were told as leaders to mobilize around, and we did our part as leaders. Unfortunately, Nakasero Blood Bank could not even cover 40% of what we had set to collect the blood that could help us. Madam Speaker, they were claiming they don't have facilities. They don't have vehicles, and you've heard the nature of roads that we have in our country. So, Madam Speaker, it's my humble request that the line minister, you use your chair to instruct it to be responsible and facilitate these people. They get them new vehicles to help us. It's on record. We are losing mothers because of blood. We are losing people over 9 on average per day in accidents because they lack blood. So it's my humble request, Madam Speaker, you help the ministry through your chair and instruct it to facilitate this entity to execute its mandate, and we save the lives of Ugandans. Thank you.
Daud, you said I instruct the minister to be responsible. The minister I know is a very responsible minister. It is not hard to be responsible. It is the ministry. Jen, Honorable Jen, first respond to that, then we have General.
Right, Honorable Speaker, allow me to thank the Honorable Member for his support in mobilizing his constituents to donate blood. Since COVID, we actually had a challenge in that people did not want to donate blood, so we are extremely grateful. Right, Honorable Speaker, the blood bank has vehicles, although they are not enough. You will recall that even part of the COVID vehicles were given to the blood bank. So I will undertake to find out what went wrong, that they were not able to respond to that massive mobilization, and we correct the problem. I thank you.
Thank you. So next time when they tell you to mobilize, thank you. General.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I highly appreciate the directive you gave that we need to increase the road fund to every district, at least to a minimum of 1 billion per district. I'm not going to stand here and lament because the problem is well known and it's cutting across the country. So what we need is the response, as has been highlighted by the Honorable Prime Minister, and I want to thank Honorable Segona for also injecting in that we do an analysis district by district and ensure that we apportion money according to the demand. The number of roads we have, under UNRWA we have 20,000 kilometers. These are national roads, and this matter I've ever presented it here on the floor, defining which roads are under the UNRWA and which roads are under the district. Of the 20,000 kilometers of national roads, so far 6,000 are tarmacked. So we still have a shortfall of 14,000 kilometers which need tarmacking. So This has been registered. This has been registered in the last years. But if you recall, by 1962, when we were still under the British for 78 years, they left us with the 600 kilometers of tarmac. So I don't think the 78 years of rule by the British, they left us with 600 kilometers. The 36 years have seen 5,500 roads tarmacked.
Thank you.
So the issue of the community access roads and the district roads, those ones, as you have rightly said, Right Honorable Speaker, the solution is to increase money to the districts. Every district, except the 16 new districts, have a road unit equipment.
Can you speak general?
Thank you very much. Thanks for the protection, Right Honorable Speaker. Every district,
Can you speak?
Every district, other than the 16 districts, whose unit equipment we have already ordered, has a full unit equipment. Every district. The 16 new districts will get the equipment by July next year. And every district every year submits its plan to the road fund.
Members, can I have order in the house?
On maintenance of roads. And it's against that plan that road fund disperses money. The district road committee has authority to even change with evidence if the plan may not be, like now, the issues we are raising, where some culverts and some bridges have been washed away. If it requires an emergency, you can change the plan you had submitted, and you can write to road fund to that effect. So every district, and with the members of parliament, being members of the district road committee, are supposed to supervise the money which goes into the road fund, from the road fund. In addition to that, the Ministry of Works under force account also responds in some districts to some requirements under the force account. So the issue of the rains and the damages they have done, that will require a special response because it's not the normal occurrence. Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. I beg to submit.
Thank you so much, General. Honorable members. Honorable members, UPC President.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I'd like to seek some clarification or get some clarity from the Honorable Minister. Honorable Minister, for Lira City, what we were allocated last financial year was slightly under $1 billion, which was less than what we're getting under Lira municipality. The area is much larger, and I'm glad you mentioned the issue of the roadwork equipment. I would request that you cross-check and find the functionality of some of the equipment which you're referring to. I can assure you that the equipment in Lira City is not good for the work which is supposed to be done. Secondly, Right Honorable Speaker, in this financial year, in the first quarter, we received 28 million shillings. For the second quarter, we got 230 million shillings. In Lira City, we have 3 bridges which have been washed out, and the estimates for a single one, the smallest one, would consume much more than we already have as a city. And this would mean that we do not touch on any other issue, but will not even be able to fix one of the washed away bridges. So, Honorable Minister, I think we need to cooperate more closely on this particular issue. But where funding has reduced from a municipality to a city, and the area has expanded, and the equipment which was under Lira district has gone with the district, and we're now a city under the municipal equipment, we are under severe constraint. And none of us will be able to complete any of the tasks which are before us, and the road situation will get worse and worse within the city, where we have a mixture of maram and tarmac roads. I thank you, Right Honourable.
Honourable Minister, maybe you need to cross-check with all the districts. You find most equipments are in a poor state. You find they cannot even replace just mere tires because they say they don't have the money. So you need to do a survey and find out which equipments are working, which ones are not working. And Amos?
I want to thank you, Right Honourable Speaker, and appreciate also the General, the Honourable Minister, who has just submitted. However, I heard, and yet it had been a concern here, since I represent a constituency that is in a new district, and the Honourable Minister said all the new districts will receive, the 16 will receive the road units June, July. And Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, I remember these units were appropriated.
We budgeted for them.
We budgeted for them.
Year.
And when we were talking about the wash away of roads and all that, for us, we are worse off as new districts because you cannot even borrow equipment from the neighbor who has a problem. So for us, with no road units, Right Honourable Speaker, to be postponed to June, July, I actually had hope that this was coming soon. I don't know, I need clarification from the Honourable Minister. Where is the challenge? Is it the money? Is it the process of procuring the equipment? Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Thank you. Sise?
Right Honourable Speaker, I appreciate.
General Lex Sise, first clarify.
Thank you, General. Right Honourable Speaker, this is a matter of equity. The Minister said that 6,000 kilometer roads have been has already been tarmacked. 5,000.
6,000. The success story.
Yeah, 6,000. I think he talked of 6,000.
The success story of UNRWA is 6,000.
Exactly, 6,000. That's what I'm talking about. I would want the minister to clarify to me, out of the 6,000, how many kilometers have been tarmacked in the north, in the south, in the west, and in the east? I think this is a matter of equity. I just want to know. There may be reasons why the north is more tarmac than the east, but we must understand. So this is purely a matter of equity. I would want to know how you have spread out in the tarmacking of roads. Thank you.
That report will be brought to the House. That report will be brought to the House. Honorable General, we need a report on how many kilometers have been tarmacked in which region, where you will bring it to the House. And the new cities, the issue of the equipments of the new issues. Judith, you will speak in the next one. The new issues, I mean the equipments in the new cities, which was provided for, we budgeted for them. We need to find out what could have happened. Is it the procurement? Is it procurement or lack of funds? That's what we need to find out.
Equipment still.
Yes.
Right
Honourable members.
Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable members. The next item we have is action taken, and you'll bring all your issues when it comes to works.
Right Honourable Speaker. The issue of the equipment, why have they delayed? Of course, we started the procurement process, but among the provisions of the laws you passed is that we don't go into signing a contract until we are sure that we have the money. And it's just recent when the money was availed, and this when we signed the contract for the equipment for the 16 districts. As for the city, we have not yet provided equipment for cities, the new cities.
What about municipalities?
We have not, even municipalities. We have only provided equipment up to district first, and that's why we captured the new 16 districts. The issue of the some of the road equipments not being in a serviceable condition, that one I accept, because I know many of the district graders don't have tires, and we're in the process of purchasing tires for these graders, and also the other spare parts. So that's what I can say for now. On the issue of the roads, the tarmac roads per region, Right Honorable Speaker, I'll bring that information on the floor as to how many kilometers have been tarmacked in every region.
Clarification, Honorable Minister.
Honorable Member, I think what the Minister needs to do is to have regular checks on the equipments so that the equipments are in good shape and have the equipment serviced.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I wanted to give information of how much money was received by Lira City last financial year. Last financial year, members remember, there was budget suppression. Despite that, Lira last financial year received 721 million to work on their roads. This financial year, they have already so far received 253 million. This financial year, from July to date. So let us monitor that money so that we have value for money.
Honorable members, let's do an oversight role. Let's not leave these monies for the district chairpersons or whichever. Let's do work and have value for money. You come and lament here. I'm even ashamed you are the ones lamenting because you have your right. You're supposed to go and do this work in the constituency. Next item.
Item 3, Bills first reading, the Microfinance Deposit Taking Institutions Amendment Bill 2022.
Honorable members, in 2003, this House enacted a Microfinance Deposit Taking Institution Act. This act sought to regulate the licensing and supervision of microfinance deposit-taking institutions. However, since then, the banking sector has witnessed various changes. Notably, the advent of Islamic banking and agency banking. As we receive the bill today, I hope government is addressing the urgent variables of Islamic banking, the agent banking, as well as the bank assurance services for deposit-taking microfinance institutions. We are going to receive the bill. I now invite the Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development to table the bill. But I must congratulate the Prime Minister. At least we are receiving one bill today. Can I receive the bill first, then you bring your procedural matter?
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move that the bill titled the Microfinance Deposit Taking Institutions Amendment Bill 2022 be read for the first time. I beg to move.
Honorable members, pursuant to Rule 1291 of the Rules of Procedure, the bill stands referred to the Committee of Finance, Planning and Economic Development and report back pursuant to Rule 1292 of the Rules of Procedure. Honorable Nyakun, Minister Nyakun, can you come back? Minister Nyakun, you're supposed to be in Toro. You're supposed to be in Mbarara. And we need a report back to in this house. Kashari. We need a report back in this house. Before, I wanted to communicate before you leave. Thank you. You can now go.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg you to lay the copy of the bill accompanied by the certificate of financial implications.
Thank you, Honorable Minister of Microfinance. Next item.
Item 4, laying of papers. Item 4.1.
Yes, Charles, what is the issue?
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the previous sitting, he had directed the Attorney General to come here with a complete report over the pending bills. Right Honorable Speaker, allow me to refer you to the constitutional mandate.
I know the constitutional mandate. Don't repeat it. I have a report. The report will be here. The report was delivered to my office. I'm still studying it.
Right Honorable Speaker, my procedure issue is, however much the report has been presented, but it contravenes with Article 91, subsection 7 of the Constitution. Right Honorable Speaker, here it states, where the President fails to do any of the acts specified in Clause 3 of this article within period prescribed in that clause, the President shall have been taken to assent on the bill, and at the expiration of that period, the Speaker shall cause. Right Honorable Speaker, the statement is very sharp and clear that the Speaker shall cause a copy of the bill laid before Parliament, and the bill shall become a law without the assent of the President. Right Honorable Speaker, the market bill was passed by this House in February. Right Honorable Speaker, the Fisheries and Aquaculture Bill was passed on the 28th of September. If I'm to count mathematically, the 30 days have expired. Is it procedurally right to move on the same agenda of the bill, yet in controversy to the articles and the law? I would propose...
Charles, you can count biologically. You don't have to count mathematically. Now, Charles, you're legislating in anticipation. You don't know what report the Attorney General has. Attorney General is coming with a report. I am the one, first of all, when the bill is signed, it is addressed to me. It's now me to give you a response, whether the bill has been signed, the act has been signed or not. So why don't you wait? You're acting in anticipation. Next item.
Item 4, laying of papers. Item 4.1, report of the Auditor General on Tirinyi, Palisa, Kumi, Kamonkoli Road project for the period ended 30th June 2022.
Honorable Parliamentary Commissioner.
Right Honorable Speaker.
Kasese, was your issue resolved the other time? Just a minute. Was your issue of the roadblocks resolved? No, just a minute.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay report of the Auditor General on Tirinyi, Parisakumi, Kamonkoli Road project for the period ended 30th June 2022. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay.
Honorable members, pursuant to Rule 174 of the Rules of Procedure, the report is accordingly referred to the Committee of Public Accounts Committee, Central Government. I urge the committee to be cognizant of the Rule 1746, which is derived from Article 163(5) of the Constitution that accords the House 6 months to debate and consider the report of the Auditor General. Next.
Item 4.2, Quality of Maternal Care and Human Rights Audit Report, Financial Year 2021.
Can we first finish this item? Honorable Minister of Health.
Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the Maternal Health Audit Report for the financial year 2021-2022. However, we extended it up to June 2022. I beg to lay.
Thank you, Honorable Minister. Honorable members, pursuant to Rule 32(5) of the Rules of Procedure, I refer the report to a Committee of Health, and I urge the members to report back to inform the budget process on this for financial year 2023-2024. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker.
Whom should I give procedure? Atkins was also standing. Atkins. No.
Mine is related to.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker.
Yes, Atkins.
Thank you very much, Madam Speaker. About a month ago, in this very House, you directed the Minister for Internal Affairs and Minister for Security to come and report back to this House and also reassure the country about the status of our security and the security and safety of our fellow citizens. Madam Speaker, it started as a trend and has become a pattern. Just about 3 days ago, Madam Speaker, we lost a serviceman at Ginger Gaddafi Barracks. Armed men stormed the gate, killed and murdered a serviceman or a military officer, and carried away 2 guns. Madam Speaker, that should worry everybody, because we have to get assurance from government what it is they are doing. Stealing or robbing, killing our fellow citizens and then robbing guns is a fatality. We have to know who are these people, where are they, what it is that the government is doing. One gun in the hands of a criminal is a calamity and a tragedy for any nation. Madam Speaker, we honored to have the Minister for Security and the Minister for Internal Affairs in the House. The families of the deceased servicemen and servicewomen wants to assure us what it is that the government is doing, and also it is causing a lot of fear and anxiety among the serving officers. Madam Speaker, would it be procedural right for us to recognize that everything else that we're trying to process in this House can wait, but not the safety and security of our fellow citizens, and especially those that sign up for duty to serve our country with distinction, Madam Speaker? I appreciate your attention.
Honorable Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker, I thank the Honorable Member for raising this matter. It is indeed a very serious matter which security is taking seriously, and we are handling. There is no threat to the country. This was a nasty incident. We are investigating it, and we shall come back and brief the House very soon.
Madam Speaker, something unrelated, but over time, I have noticed that most of our colleagues are gradually offending Rule 82, Sub Rule 1, A and B, particularly 5 and 4 respectively. The dress code by some of our colleagues is gradually degenerating. And Madam Speaker, I will not be pointing out a particular member, but I believe you need to start being very serious, especially not only in the plenary but also in committees. Some of us are dressed as if we are going to cattle markets. As if honestly, the dress code is degenerating, and I believe we need to take action. And maybe the Rules Committee may have to go further and define what decent traditional wear is.
Honorable members, the issue of the dress code, I think he's talking about it in general. That's why it's not naming and shaming. He's talking about it in general. Be smart. It is in good faith. Be smart. Be like me. Next item.
Item 5.
There was another. It was a family.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. Right Honourable Speaker, I want to thank the Minister of Health for presenting that maternal audit report. But Right Honourable Speaker, recall that there was a petition presented by us as members of the Uganda Women's Parliamentary Association, which was supported by the whole House on maternal health. Mothers dying, and yet these deaths can actually be prevented. And you referred the matter to the Minister. Now that this report, similarly touching on the same item, is going to the Committee on Health, would it not be procedural right for the Committee on Health to consider that petition as well, because it is the same subject matter? And also, Right Honourable Speaker, aware that court ruled on this particular matter. Actually, this was a constitutional petition in the Constitutional Court, and court ruled over this matter. So would it not be procedural right, Honourable Speaker, for you to refer, in addition to this audit, our petition, so that the committee can handle them at a go and report back? Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker.
Honourable Sarah, this report actually brings out your issues. Why we are referring it to the committee is for the sake of budgeting, because the issues were, yes, you raised issues, but there was no money for it. So we need now to look at this report and have it and have money budgeted for all those activities. Your issues are covered in this report.
Item 5.
Yes, Ethel.
Thank you so much, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I'm raising on a point of privilege. And I'm asking tomorrow the clerk should aid me to have a better vision so that when I look at that clock, I'm not really perturbed to think that it's towards 2. And also additionally, every day I come here, I have to rotate around all the 4 machines to get a machine that is really working in order to have my thumbprint taken. I beg to submit. Thank
Honorable
you.
Commissioner. Honorable Commissioner.
Right, Honorable Speaker, I have heard clearly, and the member is right. We are going to ensure that that is worked
And
on.
apologize for that.
And we apologize for the commission for the wrong clock. I think it happened only today. We apologize.
Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the Commission apologizes. Right Honorable Speaker, when we are swearing in, we put 4 fingers to be captured. But you come inside here, the machine begins tossing you here, you put this one, it rejects. The other one, tomorrow it accepts, the other day it rejects. So they need to do something beyond there, other than just apologizing and saying the machine will work.
Honorable members, you know, we are moving from analog to digital. It is a process. And you coming from that far end of Kamuli, of Bugabula, you may not be knowing how to put the finger well. Next item.
Item 5. Item 5. Motion for resolution of Parliament to authorize government to borrow up to special drawing rights 237.7, equivalent to...
Honorable members, listen. If you don't want the loan, you'll vote against it.
Equivalent to United States dollars 331.5 million, and receive a grant of up to special drawing rights 198.2 million, equivalent to US dollars 276.5 million from the International Development Association of the World Bank Group to finance the electricity access scale-up project.
Honorable Minister of Finance, Planning and Economic Development. Honorable members, this motion, honorable members, this loan was presented to the committee. It was brought during recess. Boss, can you sit? It came during recess. When the loan was brought during recess, administratively, I referred it to the committee. From the committee, I went and sought permission from business committee. That is under, and the business, we now finally came and gave the loan, handed it over to the committee under Rule 1552. And that's how the loan has come back to the House. Now the minister is ready to move a motion. I know you want to raise a procedural issue under Rule 155, and you know very well. Don't show me your constitution, because I have mine. Honorable Minister of Finance. And members, there are some of you who just want to raise non-issues because of cameras.
Thank you so much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move a motion for a resolution of Parliament to authorize government to borrow up to special drawing rights 237.7 million, and that's equivalent to United States dollars 331.5 million,
and also receive a grant of up to SDR 198.2 million, and that is equivalent to United States dollars 276.5 million in form of grants from the International Development Association, IDA, of the World Bank Group, to finance the Electricity Access Scale-Up Project, ESP. Right Honorable Speaker, the objective of this project is to increase access to electricity for households, commercial enterprises, industrial parks, and public institutions from 19% currently to 44% by 2027, and increase the share of clean energy usage for cooking from 15% to 40% by 2027. The location and beneficiaries in this project. The project's geographical focus is national and will directly benefit households, commercial enterprises, including minerals and mining enterprises, public institutions, and industrial parks with access to energy and clean cooking solutions. The project will also support refugees and their host communities with both grid and off-grid technologies. The key project results areas include A, about 1,073,500 new on-grid electricity connections. The estimated number of connections per district is included in the annex, which we shall present later. B, 150,000 off-grid new electricity connections made, of which 27,000 are in refugee-hosted districts. Based on the above connection targets, about 5 million project beneficiaries will be provided with access to electricity under the project through grid, mini-grid, and off-grid options, of which 2,525,000 will be female. D, a total of about 600,000 people in refugee hosting districts will benefit, of which about 300,000 will be refugees. The project cost, the total estimated project cost and financing is $638 million, which includes $331.5 million in form of IDA credit and $276.5 million in form of grants. So the grant consists of $112.5 million from IDA, US dollars $124 million from the IDA window for host communities and refugees, and $30 million from the Clean Technology Fund, of which $25 million is a contingency recovery grant, and $10 million from the Clean Cooking Fund. And this is supplemented by Government of Uganda counterpart funding of $10 million and $20 million that is to be leveraged from the private sector. The project has several components. There's component 1 on grid expansion and connectivity, component 2, financial intermediation for energy access scale-up, and component 3 is on energy access in refugee hosting communities. Component 4 is on project implementation support and affordable modern energy solutions. Component 5 is contingent emergency response. The detailed description of each component is presented differently in a separate document. Now, on the loan terms and conditions, the loan contains the following terms. The loan amount I've already mentioned. Maturity is 38 years, including a grace period of 6 years. Commitment fee, 0.5% per annum on an withdrawn financing balance. Service fee 0.75% per annum on the withdrawn credit balance. So the loan is highly concessional. Implementation. The main project implementation entities will be the Ministry of Energy and Mineral Development for the grid expansion and connectivity aspects, and the Uganda Energy Credit Capitalization Company, UECCC, for the financial intermediation aspects, largely targeting off-grid interventions and clean cooking solutions. The Ministry of Energy will establish a project steering committee to provide strategic guidance and overall oversight during project implementation and ensure effective coordination.
Honorable Minister, are you now presenting the report?
I'm presenting a motion, Right Honorable Speaker, and I'm about to conclude because I thought I should.
I needed a motion to be seconded first before you speak about it.
Yeah, I'm sorry the motion was a bit long, but I'm concluding with the next sentence, Right Honorable.
So you've spoken about your motion already?
Yes, I've done both.
Okay.
Right Honorable Speaker, the Ministry of Energy will establish a project steering committee to provide strategic guidance and overall oversight during project implementation and ensure effective coordination among all stakeholders. The PSC will be chaired by the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Energy with representatives from the Ministry of Finance, UECC, OPM, Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs, Ministry of Local Government, Ministry of Health, Ministry of Education and Sports, Ministry of Water and Environment. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to move this motion. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Honorable Minister, for reading both the motion and the report of the committee. Is the motion seconded? Seconded by Honorable Bahati, Honorable Chen, the Prime Minister, the Government Chief Whip. We all need electricity. By the whole House. Yes. Now that the Minister has talked about the terms, the Minister has talked about everything, and in the matter of equity, can we now get the names of the districts to be covered? All we need the chairperson today is to lay on table the reports, the minutes, and just read for us the regions. No, we cannot go to sub-countries. Let's look at the districts.
Thank you very much, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, the Minister has actually summarized our report, and therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, by procedure, I beg that you allow me lay the report of the Committee on National Economy on the proposal by government to borrow up to special drawing rights 237.7 million, equivalent to US dollar 331, and receive a grant of up to special drawing rights 198.2 million, equivalent to 276.5 million from the International Development Association of the World Bank to finance electricity access scale-up project. I beg to lay the report of the committee and the minutes of the committee.
Please lay.
Right Honorable Speaker, last time when we presented the other loan, there were issues of procedure raised by honorable members, and I would wish to lay the documents that accompanied the loan when the minister presented this matter to the House. I beg to lay the minister's brief, the letter of clearance from the President, the letter of from National Planning Authority clearing the loan, and many other documents. I beg to lay.
Thank you.
Right Honorable Speaker, as guided by you,
Maybe as you look for the regions, there's something we need to correct. The statement that the minister summarized your report, just to correct the record. It is your report, don't, he didn't summarize, he was talking, he was seconding his motion. I mean, he was speaking for his motion.
Most obliged, Madam Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, you directed that we read the tentative electricity connections to be made per districts under the Uganda electricity access scale-up project. We have a number of districts, and then after page 29, move the next page. It's uploaded in the iPads.
Honorable Chair, just read, start Buikwe, Bukoma Nsimbi, Butambala, Buvuma.
Honorable members. Right Honorable Speaker, there is a table, it's Annexure 1 on our report. It begins with Buikwe. The number of connections for Buikwe is 17,257.
We don't need that. We need the districts.
The districts.
Yes.
The districts to be connected are Buikwe, Bukomasimbi, Butambala, Buvuma, Gomba, Kalangala, Kalungu, Kampala, Kasanda, Kayunga, Kiboga, Chiankwazi, Kiotera, Luero, Luengo, Liantonde, Masaka, Mitiana, Mpigi, Mubende, Mukono, Nakaseke, Nakasongola, Rakai, Sembabule, Wakiso, Bugweri, Kitagwenda, in eastern Uganda, that is central. I'm going region by region. In eastern Uganda, in eastern Uganda, we have Amuria, Budaka, Bududa, Bugiri, Bukedea, Buko, Bulambuli, Busia, Namayingo, Butaleja, Butebo, Buyende, Iganga, Jinja, Kaberemaido, Kaliro, Kamuli, Kapchorwa, Katakwi, Kibuku, Kumi, Kwen, Luka, Manafa, Mayuge, Mbale, Namisindwa, Namutumba, Ngora, Palisa, Serere, Sironko, Soroti, Tororo, Kalaki, and Kapelebiong. In the northern Uganda, we have Abim, we have Abim, Ajumani, Agago, Alebitong, Amolatar, Amudat, Amuru, Apach, Omoro, Arua, Dokolo, Gulu, Kabong, Kitugum, Koboko, Kole, Kotido, Lamo, Lira, Maracha, Moroto, Moyo, na Kapiripirit, Napak, Nebi, Nuoya, Otuke, Oyam, Pader, Pakwach, Yumbe, Zombo, Obongi, Terego, Karenga, Kwania, Madiokolo, Nabilatuk, and Obongi. In western Uganda, we have Buenju, Bulisa, Bundibujo, Bunyangabo, Bushenyi, Hoima, Ibanda, Isingiro, Ntungamu, Kabale, Kabarole, Kagadi, Kakumiro, Kamwenge, Kanungu, Kasese, Kibale, Kiruhura, Kiriandongo, Kisoro, Chegegwa, Kenjojo, Masindi, Mbarara, Mitoma, Ntoroko, Rubanda, Rubirizi, Ruchiga, Rukungiri, Shema, Kikube, Kazo, and Rampara. Right, Honorable Speaker, those are the areas that will be covered by the project.
Thank you. Thank you, Honorable. Thank you so much, Honorable, for the report. We've already had a report. So can you take up your seat? Can I hear from Leader of Opposition?
Right, Honourable Speaker, first I want to thank the Minister together with my colleague, the Chairperson of the committee. As you noticed from the beginning, both sides of the House supported this loan.
Honourable members, can you keep quiet?
Ordinarily, we are not opposed to borrowing. We only opposed to unguided borrowing, and we opposed to poor management of these loans. With respect to this particular loan, you notice that it is national in character, over basic infrastructure that we need for development. My attention has specifically been drawn to the coverage and the question of equity. Although I want the Minister to correct the impression that Bugweri and Chitagwenda are in central region, making a coverage in the central region appear to be 28 districts, whereas there are actually 26. The rest reflects a national character and equitable distribution of the benefits of this loan. Point number 2, Right Honourable Speaker and colleagues, we notice equally from the terms that this is a concessional loan with an element of a grant. And I kept asking, where have these honourable gentlemen and ladies been all along as we were choking in the most difficult loans that we have contracted in the past? Point number 3, access to electricity is key to development as well as saving the environment. Point number 4 is that the committee made a report without a minority report this time, which normally shrouds controversial issues. So both sides. We would urge the people that are going to manage this loan to ensure we have value for money so that when we start paying, we are really paying for value. And that this loan will encourage and increase or improve productivity. 2 final points, Right Honourable Speaker. We have always complained about the absence of a debt management policy. In fact, other countries in the region have gone ahead to enact debt management laws and policy. A case in point is Zambia. There is a debt policy and a plan which must be laid before Parliament annually. I think we need to take such good examples. Finally, the Honourable Minister has talked about a committee, a multi-sectoral committee that is going to participate in the management of this loan. I'm one of those that have consistently and persistently been opposed to the abolition of REA. With all the problems in REA, which have largely been managerial, and that could have been sorted, you must give credit to REA in this area of distributing electricity. I think they got us from far. Now, taking this back to the mainstream ministry, we will have its challenges that have dodged all other infrastructure issues. How I wish the government would reconsider the decision
Honorable Prime Minister, are you listening to that?
Of abolishing REA. For me, there are mainly two entities, REA and UNRA. There have been issues to do with management which would have been sorted by way of relooking at the appointments in those places, but they have otherwise done a fantastic job. Without reservation, therefore, Right Honourable Speaker, we wish to support both the motion and the report. Thank you.
Thank you so much, honorable members. It is not any motion for debate. Lope has talked. No. Honorable members.
Madam Speaker.
Honorable members.
Madam Speaker, this is...
Honorable members. Honorable members. You first sit. Honorable members, as you've heard from Lope, the issues of the loan terms, first of all, it's constitutional. The Constitution allows us to borrow. The terms are very favorable. And I also want to agree with the Lope on the issues of REA. Give us back our REA. Give us back our REA. The management could have been bad. You can give better managers. But REA did a good job. It did a very good job. There are institutions that have success stories that you can never forget in Uganda. Talk about REA. Talk about UNRA. National water is alive. There is no way you can do away with the national water. I am not going to allow a debate on this loan. Yes, your procedural matter. Chairperson Presidential, you sit.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and I thank you for your indulgence. I wanted us to be certain we are proceeding right. If you look at the title of the motion, the proposal to borrow up to special drawing rights 237 million with its equivalent and to receive a grant. Madam Speaker, I invite you to look at page 15 of the motion under item 31C, where bullet C also requests us now to approve a loan, a borrowing, departing from the title of the motion that was a grant. And this is very important because we approve figures, and these figures must have conditions attached, and as far as the reports and also the recommendation of the committee, it touches only on the 237 as the money we are going to borrow. But when you look at prayer C, and I'm going to quote verbatim, that in light of the above, I shall request honorable members to, I'll skip A and B, but go to C, authorize the government by passing a resolution attached to this brief and in line with Article 159 of the Constitution to borrow up to special drawing rights 198.2. The minister purports that this amount is a grant. But now, in the conclusion, this parliament is asked to actually approve a loan, which I have nothing against, but where are the conditions for this one? Because we don't want to think that we are getting a grant for some amount, and in the end, if we are borrowing, let it be clear so that we know both are actually borrowings and the terms are laid before this House.
Honorable Minister. Attorney General.
Thank you very much, Right Honourable Speaker. I think that is because government does not seek a resolution to take a grant. The Constitution requires government to take a resolution to borrow. So when we come here, we inform Parliament that we are getting a loan and a grant. But the resolution is for permission to borrow, only for the borrowing. The what?
Actually, what you're raising, the procedural matter you're raising is on the what? On the motion, not on what is in the report. And what Attorney General is saying, that we don't need a resolution to get a grant. We are asking for a resolution to borrow a particular amount.
Madam Speaker, the report of a committee of this House reports on the motion. What is before this House is a substantive motion moved by the Minister, and this is a document from the Minister. I'll invite you, Madam Speaker,
Honourable
to read.
Minister, is the 192 also a loan or a grant? It's a grant. So can you correct it?
The grant is actually 198.2 million SDR, which is equivalent to $276.5 million. The loan is SDR 237.7 million, equivalent to 331.5 million United States dollars. That's what is before the House, Right Honourable Speaker.
So, in that case, Madam Speaker, this motion should then be amended to reflect what they have come to request from us and indicate it as a grant. In any case, it is the first time I'm seeing the government coming here to tell us about a grant. It is unprecedented that the government has come here. They have been taking grants. So let's strike off this particular aspect completely so that we know we are dealing with the loan. We don't want to come here after 5 or 6 years and say that Parliament has made a mistake on this matter.
You move a motion as it is. That the motion, the borrowing is 331.5 million and the grant is 276. Yes.
Yeah, it could be amended to that effect, Right Honourable Speaker, but the House needs to know that the grant is a condition on the loan.
Yes.
So
yes.
we are amending it to read that government be authorized to borrow a sum of $331 million, $331.5 million, and take a grant of $276.5 million. Beg to submit.
From International Development Association of the World Bank. Honorable members, I now put a question that this House approves the motion to authorize government to borrow up to special drawing rights, SDR 237.7, equivalent to US dollars 331.5 million, and receive a grant up to SDR 198.2 million, equivalent to US dollars 276.5 million from the International Development Association of the World Bank Group to finance the electricity access scale-up project. Those in favor say on the contrary, nay. The ayes have it.
Item 6, presentation of action taken report on resolutions.
Chair, National Economy, thank you so much for the work and the committee members. Yes, and honorable members, I request you to do your oversight role in your different constituencies where this money is going to. Let it not be paperwork. Let's have value for money. Yes.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to thank you for the guidance, especially in the processing and the passing of this loan. And Madam Speaker, I want to agree with you on the issue of implementation. While it is good for us to have oversight, it is also important to prepare. Because I am told, Madam Speaker, REA was supposed to be absorbed in the Ministry of Energy. And Madam Speaker, as we talk, there are a lot of issues to do with the staff of REA. Some of them have been rejected. Some of them have been thrown away. And some other amateurs have been brought in the ministry to supervise the committed and experienced workers. I think, Madam Speaker, the Prime Minister should give us an attention, such that, Madam Speaker, you listen to this, which is very critical. Madam Speaker, this is a very critical issue. While we are yearning, ministries are yearning to bring up these agencies, to absorb them into ministries, we need also to be very, very conscious of what these ministries are doing. If royal staff were supposed to be incorporated within ministry, and now they have been rejected, they are bringing other people, relatives, friends, in-laws, are we going therefore to implement this project? Can we get assurance, Madam Speaker? Can we get assurance? Information.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you, Honorable Member. Right, Honorable Speaker.
Honorable members, can we have next item?
Rural Electrification Program.
Next item.
Item 6, presentation of action taken report.
Honorable members, as you may recall, yes, on Thursday, 17th November, we unceremoniously adjourned the House awaiting for action taken reports as per Rule 220, and the Prime Minister, who is around here, told me she's ready and set for it. And you know how action reports are very vital for our accountability. As members of Parliament, we need to do accountability not to only ourselves, but to the people who sent us here. And of course, as legislature, that is part of our work. And for that reason, therefore, can we have the Prime Minister present the action taken reports as per Rule 220? Yes, Love.
Thank you, Right Honourable Speaker. I may not have been privileged as a new office bearer for the little time I'm going to hold this office, and I find that the issue my sister, the Right Honourable Prime Minister, is presenting on is very vital. Would it not be procedurally right, or you guide, that first we get those copies and we internalize them so as to have an informed decision? Yes, I know of the iPad and also the rules. I'm actually very happy that I'm being reminded by my granddaughter, the Honorable Mohanga. I'm now happy that she's alive to the rules and proceedings here. But I'm only making that request if you would find a pleasure first in ensuring that we do some background check, because some of these issues involve statistics and they are very vital, especially having come from us, if the Prime Minister will equally indulge us.
Thank you.
I actually have no problem with that. For me, what is important is for the Prime Minister to lay on table. Once the Prime Minister has laid on table, we'll look at all of them and then debate on them once we have looked at them. Yes. She can actually let her lay on table. And first of all, I want to congratulate you for finishing and working overnight to have this. Congratulations. And whatever we did was in good faith to help you work. And where we find that not everything is covered, we shall still ask you to ensure that those will come in oral questions. Yes.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues.
And we want to thank you for running for the babies.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, like you guided, the Speaker guided us on Thursday that at least we present ministries by ministries until when we are done with a full report. And therefore, Right Honorable Speaker, in my forward in this book, I move in accordance to Rule 220 of our Rules of Procedure of Parliament of Uganda. I also have the honor to submit before this August House the first action taken report on resolutions of the first session of the 11th Parliament, that is May 2021 to May 2022. This report outlines actions taken by different ministries, departments, and agencies in regard to the resolution of Parliament for the period above. The report is intended to update Parliament on compliance and the extent of actions taken by government on resolutions of Parliament. Some of the pending resolutions require legislation and policy formulation. To that effect, government is in the process of initiating the necessary legislations and policies so as to facilitate their implementation. It is important to note, honorable members, that this report also excludes resolutions to authorize government to borrow and resolutions to pay tribute. I therefore wish to inform you, Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, that this is the first action taken report to be presented before the 11th Parliament by the Executive. This clearly affirms government's commitment to Parliament in ensuring the timely, efficient, and effective delivery of services for the public, and in a bid to achieve sustainable development in Uganda. Government of Uganda is appreciative the oversight role of Parliament. It is therefore my pleasure to present this report before Parliament and to reiterate government's assurance to deliver timely responses to Parliament as we join hands in building this great nation. Right Honorable Speaker, I want to request you to allow the Ministry of Justice and Constitutional Affairs to be the one to present, followed by the Ministry of Agriculture, then the Ministry of Information and Technology, the Ministry of Health, the Ministry of Works, to mention but a few. Right Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay on table.
Thank you. Please lay, Right Honorable Prime Minister. When from your communication from your forward, where you say It is important to note that this report also excludes resolutions to authorize government to borrow and resolutions to pay tribute. You can exclude pay tribute because it has no financial implication, but here on borrowing, it's about debt servicing. We need to know how far have you gone, was the loan disbursed, has it been used in a proper way, and you determine the value for money. So it's a very important aspect that should be included in this.
Right Honourable Speaker, we shall amend.
Thank you. Honourable members, you've heard from the Prime Minister. Can I hear from Lob?
Right Honourable Speaker, actually one missing point is that you're now hearing from government on your left. Oh. From us on your left, we want first to congratulate you because this is an innovation from the leadership of this House. Ordinarily, we've been used to the Treasury Memorandum, which comes and is audited and we debate. And that one implies action initiated by government in accordance with the law. Sometimes it takes long. Now you notice that...
And it is limited to Auditor General's
absolutely,
reports.
limited to Auditor General's. Now this innovation of our House is wider and much faster. It is also deeper. I also want to congratulate the Prime Minister on being the first to implement this kind of initiative. And like I've always said, she's good in execution. Very good. Having said that, I know my granddaughter, the Honorable Cecilia Timogwal, is going to tell me it's because she's a lady. But I will receive her information before I judge her on that point, with your permission.
Thank you, Grandpa, for allowing me to give you information. You know, today is St. Cecilia's Day, so I'm just happy. And I think the girl child should learn from St. Cecilia's life. I want to let the LOP, the leader of the opposition, to know that the political history of Uganda has registered Right Honorable Prime Minister Robina Nebanja as the first female Prime Minister. That is what is recorded in the political history of Uganda. I just want to let you know that.
Right Honorable Speaker, I think like any other old man, I was not far from the answer in terms of the information I anticipated from the Honorable Cecilia Gwal. Having congratulated the Prime Minister, and also, of course, on mobilizing her cabinet to be here and to sit here up to this time, I am of the view that for us to have meaningful debate, we need time to go through this and do research on it. Because what we are doing is we are carrying out oversight. When the government tells you we have done this, you must be sure they have actually done it. It is still my plea and the plea of my government on your left that we be given some time, I think 1 or 2 days, to come back with thorough research and have meaningful debate. Only then can we implement your directive earlier given on improving the quality of debate in this House. And I'm sure outside there we are going to be congratulated on that, because this question has been lingering for so long. So I pray that you find pleasure in granting that request. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prime Minister.
Right Honorable Speaker and colleagues, I want to thank my brother-in-law. Yes. For the compliment, and also request you to allow members, have time to go through this so that we can have meaningful debate for the good of this country. Thank you so much.
Honorable members, now that both sides are in agreement, can we have the debate on Thursday? We shall have a one-item order paper. We have the debate on Thursday on this. These are only 7 how many entities are this? 11. They will bring more. So go and look at what is here. We'll debate them on Thursday, and then we receive the others. And let it be conclusive. As I've said, issues of the loans must be included. The bills must be included. The decisions that were taken by this House must be included. Where you feel it is not, you've not included, go and include and give us a fresh document, so that we are able to look at it and debate and make Ugandans proud, because we are holding executive accountable. I want to thank all of you. The House is adjourned to tomorrow at 2.
Uganda.
Welcome to Frank Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second. Everybody, come on, dude. It's FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat. The ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing one of the seats, your team is going to lose. Are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold on much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
The biggest sporting event of the year is here! It's the FIFA World Cup 2022 and the first of its kind in the big Arab Manila.
World Cup is in Qatar 2022. Doha.
Wow! It's gonna be super amazing. It's gonna be full of prizes to be won. UBC and your TV are getting a chance to participate in every game from the group stages. Dial *9 #. Make your predictions and win lots and lots of prizes. Win daily cash, swag hampers, win smartphones, win brand new border borders, and many more.
2022.
Everyone is a winner in this World Cup with UBC and your TV. Just dial *210 *9 #. Make your predictions and win. Terms and conditions apply.
Come to Doha, come to Toro, and Tawa Anna.
Welcome to English in a Minute. In nature, water can be violent and rough, or it can be still and calm. So what could this mean?
Still waters run deep. Anna, I'm throwing a party, and you and Ashley are invited. Oh, and Douglas too.
Douglas? You mean the guy in IT who never talks to anyone? He's so quiet.
Maybe he's just busy thinking. You know what they say, still waters run deep.
They also say, be careful of the quiet ones.
The expression, still waters run deep, is used when describing someone who seems shy and quiet. But they are often very intelligent and interesting. You just might not know it because they're so quiet.
This month, we meet a former FIFA World Cup winner. We take to the skies to view Doha from above. And we find out which teams booked the last 3 spots for Qatar 2022. "24 years ago, on the 11th of July 1998, France went into a state of huge celebration as the country witnessed its national football team brush Brazil aside to claim their first FIFA World Cup title. A key figure in that team was Marcel Desailly.
La Coupe du Monde en France a été quelque chose d'absolument fantastique. D'abord,
the World Cup in France was really fantastic. First of all, because the infrastructure was great, the organisation was wonderful, and the final was an ideal final between Brazil, the holders, and France, the host country. There was a real energy, I think, through the composition of the French team with different backgrounds. There was a real energy around that. There was a global togetherness around that World Cup, that final. It was unique. It was a really unique, strong World Cup with the fantastic Stade de France. I think that everyone who's old enough can remember the images and the energy of that World Cup. That's what convinces us that football is magic when we think about the 1998 World Cup.
C'est là où on s'aperçoit que le football est magique quand on prend référence de la Coupe du Monde 98.
"4 years later, Marcel Desailly captained his country in Japan and South Korea. But after failing to win a game or score a single goal, the experience was very different from 1998. But now he believes the current France team can build on their momentum as world champions.
C'est vrai que en 2002,
It's true that in 2002, we, France, during that World Cup, we had several players injured at the end of the season. It's always tiring for the players. We had the same thing in 1998 and 2002. In 2002, I think our stress management wasn't great, and we didn't manage to enhance our level of playing. On the other hand, the new generation, they have a type of insouciance, and that insouciance will allow them to manage their stress. Once you've controlled your stress, they've got talent, maybe even more than we did in our time. They'll get their great performance, and they'll reproduce what's not been done since 1958. Brazil and 1962. Brazil as well, twice consecutively. So yes, I think it'd be good if this team reproduces that performance.
Réédite cette performance.
Desai finished his professional football career in Qatar, where he played for Al Gharafa, winning the league in the 2004-05 season. And finally with Qatar Sports Club, leading them to second place in the league. He noticed immediately that Qatar has a definite vision for footballing success.
En 2004-2005, ils ont créé l'académie Aspire.
In 2004-05, they created Aspire Academy. They had a clear idea of progress. They brought over players, old players, who were, like me, at the end of their career, to share that experience we'd had in the European leagues. They did that progressively, and they've succeeded. They won the Asian Cup. They have energy. They have the World Cup. The notion of sport for Qatar has always been to integrate education and sport. There's a whole lot of sporting activity, and it's great for Qatar to have this World Cup and to allow the Middle East to have access to this competition, to bring a boost in interest.
Cette compétition pour justement emmener un boost d'intérêt.
Having experienced Qatar's